Who's your favorite naked lady?
This is kind of
All right, guys, who's your favorite porn star? Go.
Who's your favorite naked lady?
Who's your favorite porn
Okay,
star?
guys,
Go.
talking to microphone.
Microphone.
I don't have like a
Damn.
particular favorite.
You
To
don't
be
have a
honest
favorite
with you.
porn star? Who's your favorite porn star, Mitch?
I can name some that I like.
I don't
name some you
engage.
like.
I
I
like how
like AI.
I liked how it was great.
So lots of hentai.
You got it,
Lots
pal.
and lots of hentai.
That's right. Anything animated or created by a robot.
Oh,
So you would really love Genshin. Is this why you don't play? Do
Oh
you know
my
you spend all your
God,
money?
Marco, figure me
God
out.
damn it.
Marco, it's because he's gonna be a wreck the whole time. He's like, I can't focus when this is going
Marco,
on.
you don't offer an addict heroin.
I just did.
Oh my God.
I'm
It's
gonna
like we're
keep
not
doing
even
it.
friends. Those words matter.
That's mental.
And speaking of which, our word today is diffident. And I was feeling pretty diffident about this word of the day. Did you guys catch that? I just used it in a sentence.
Unsure of the word. Unsure. Yeah, that's all right.
Brian,
Use your sentence again.
no.
Okay.
Marco, what does it mean?
Describe someone who lacks self-confidence or is hesitant in expressing their opinions or abilities.
Unsure.
Unsure.
Sounds unsure
Someone
to
who's
me.
shy, timid, or unsure of themselves. Yeah.
Oh, damn, he did say the word unsure. Wow, Mitch, your sentence was that good. But guys, the theme of the day is really just being yourself. So I want everybody to be able to, speak your truth. Which brings up the phrase of the day, speak your truth, baby.
Live your truth.
Thank you, Marco. Live your truth. But in speaking, don't
are
we
living
really
your
live? Thank you, Marco.
Oh shit.
This is why I need you, man. You're the philosophical expert, dog, and we're living it today. So here on Age of Wisdom, we bring together the greatest minds of all of northeastern Milwaukee. I've assembled them myself, personally handpicked it, and they're smart guys. They're really smart.
Thanks, Mitch.
Let me tell you. Let's get into it because I don't want to talk about Pokemon trucks anymore. Let's start off getting really deep. I don't know. It's just how we got to do it. It's on the show. We got a lot of fun topics today, but we always like to break it down. There's a lot of problems in the world today. Let's analyze the world by analyzing self. Let's start it on with this. Get deep real quick. We got a lot of fun topics. Some kind of koto.
Koto.
Is it
What do
wrong
they
to
call
say
it?
Oriental?
The 3-string Japanese guitar or something.
Next week. Is
That-
it wrong to say Oriental?
Next week, how words have evolved and what you can and can't say. That'll be Ryan's topic with comedy, if I'm not wrong.
Canceled.
If I'm not
Yeah, just
mistaken.
instantly canceled.
Guys, this is a Rumble exclusive. Didn't I tell you? We're
Oh.
getting paid.
Then we're
Russell Brand hired
Where's my
us. Bro, well,
Russell Brand.
Marco,
See you
it's not
soon,
classy
Russell.
to talk about money. Jeez.
See you, Russell.
Yeah,
We'll see you
that's supposed
soon.
to talk. That's personal.
We're live. Actually, this is a live stream right now. Guys, I want to know. Let's start out with this. Are humans complex or are we simple?
I
do you
think
mean?
we're
What do you mean,
simple,
Mitch?
but people try to make themselves complex.
We are. Ooh. We try to make ourselves complex.
Because if you go back in time, things were simple. Everyone was living simple lives. And now everything's fast and complex. And people just want to have it all and want all this stuff going on and too much at once.
What
kind
I
of
hear
things.
you saying is that we're all a bunch of liars. We're not really complex after all.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be complex. It's
Yeah.
interesting to be complex.
Yeah. It's
Dare I say
mysterious.
meaningful?
Ooh, meaningful.
And you said try to be complex? I feel like it's effortless. I feel like it's like hours have gone by. I'm like, why have I just been so complex? I didn't even mean to be complex, you know?
Ooh.
I wasn't trying at all. It's effortless to be so insane.
It's funny you say that because I've said that to myself before. It's like everything's so complex right now.
So what I hear you saying is that you disagree with Ryan. And you think that people are complex.
Just the word try. I feel like I don't try to be complex at all. And we don't
Your
try.
problem is with the word try.
Yeah, because I try to be simple.
Because it's effortless.
Is it complex by trying to be simple? Is it complex to try to be simple?
Marco.
Yes.
Oh, can you answer that? Is
I
it true?
think we are, at our core, simple.
Oh.
I think when you break us down, this goes into our talk about archetypes often, that we are just like a bunch of archetypes put together. But what makes humans
So
unique
Jungian.
is
Sorry.
our ability to adapt and learn. And that is what can make us complex, because there are so many routes that we can take. But at the end of the day, we are simple creatures, and we're not as complex usually as we think.
Boom.
I like it. Adaptation. It seems very complex, does not? I like that
Yeah.
word. Adaptation. Evan, what do you take from that? Adaptation.
Well, first I thought Marco was going to be the contrarian and say that we were complex, but he said we were simple. What'd you say? The word adaptation.
Adaptation. Doesn't that inherently make us complex beings because we have the ability to adapt?
That's what I was
Yes.
going to just say.
That's
I was-
exactly what I was
That's why I
going to
say we
say.
have the
You took the words out of
potential.
my mouth. What's that,
We have
Marco?
the potential to be complex.
Ooh.
Right?
Not everybody
Not
is.
everyone is, and most of us aren't.
Because sometimes it's just effortless,
Even
right,
the
Evan?
most complex people
Adapting
at
to-
the root probably have very, very simple things that make up who they are.
Huh?
And if we were to break it down, put you in an algorithm on a fucking computer, it'd probably be simple.
Well, adaptation is complex, but it's one of those things I think we do it effortlessly, because as Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But like the average person, I feel like they'll try something over and over again. They'll say, "Oh my God, this isn't working," and they say, "All right, adapt." But they don't say I'm going to adapt, but they know something's got to change.
It's almost like we want to live.
You think so?
They might do it unsuccessfully, but I think they know that a change needs to happen. Like when you're living wrong, you're like, man,
Then
I got to change.
why is the average person so average?
Oh. That's a tautology, Marco.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to answer.
Why is the average person so average?
But
not even trying to
because-
say like I'm not average or
That's like that
whatever.
movie,
It's
What is
just-
a Woman? And he's like, well, it's a woman who identifies as a woman. And then he goes, well, what is a woman? I can't believe I'm even making this dumb reference.
I think
It's very
Rewind.
cyclical.
I think having the ability that you're explaining to adapt, to be aware that you need to adapt, is probably what marks intelligence in some way, and is how we even evolved from cavemen to where we are now.
But to your question with the average people, like why are there so many average people? Because your argument, I guess, was what I hear you saying is that average people are less willing to adapt. But I think they do. Their parameters or ideas of how to adapt and what to adapt to is different scales of it, because they might think, I got to stop eating so much pizza or something like that. But other non-average people, I guess you would say, are thinking bigger, successful, financial, maybe adaptations to
Right. So
status
at some
in
point,
life.
what they're adapting to is really changing down in scale. They're like have adapted to their average life essentially, or like fish at the bottom of the ocean that have evolved to look like whatever they look like, just useless blobs.
Yeah.
That's because all they need to actually do and be. So
Well, I
they
guess you're
adapt
right.
to that, and
There's fewer things needed to adapt to nowadays in terms of survival, like the original adaptation, evolution argument.
But
But then
then,
you got everything you need, you got all your basic needs met.
but then, couldn't people adapt where things are more complex, or adapt to where more things are simple?
Whoa.
No. Like, what if someone adapts to something that's more complex than they were hoping for, or they adapt to something more simple that's more easy for them?
those are our intelligent people, I would guess, or the people who are above and beyond, or athletes, are just above average people.
That goes back to last week, too, when we were talking about forgetting something every day, like adapting to be simple again. I think you realize is the
It's almost
biggest
as
adaptation
if-
of all. Go on.
It's almost as if what you desire is what you adapt to.
Right. So that's why the average people just have like different parameters of what they want to adapt for.
Whoa, so you guys are saying everyone's different? That's deep.
They all live their truth.
Damn it, you stole it from me. Well, that was a toss-up, but sure.
I knew it was coming.
You got to
back
live
to
your
that.
truth. So what? Poge, are humans complex or simple?
Complex. I'm going to say complex because I could argue that simple is a duck, a bird.
I like it.
I mean, we can get pretty easy
I'm
at
with
chicken.
Following.
We can't just, you can't put a human in a cage and let it reproduce with other humans. You could do it with a chicken, you could do it with a trout. We need something more. We can't get basic needs and just be happy. I don't think we can be simple. I think that's why.
Marco brought up the word average. Now I like it because it was indeed a cyclical definition, but I think to have the exceptional, you must have the average. And in fact, the definition of average is that there must be more of them.
The standard deviation, more average in the middle, the mean or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's true, and it's just like that's what almost creates the word in the first place. But that brings me to my next point here, which is, so we'll get to the conclusion of this, but we want to know, what do people want then? What do people desire out of this life?
Damn. Go on.
I actually
Marco.
think you guys, before Poge answered, argued for humans being complex.
If that's what I'm to
actually-
understand.
And is actually an answer to your question, too, that you just posed.
They want to
Also-
be complex?
I need you to ask the question one more time.
What do
so I
humans
can phrase this
desire?
perfectly.
What do humans desire? What do they want out of this life? If they are complex, what makes it so complex? Do they want something
Because
that
we
I don't
can
know about?
desire so many
I never
different
heard
things.
about.
An infinite, to go back on what we were saying last week. It's infinitely possible. So then, because the
All right, well,
nature
let's
of
get
that-
to the basics then.
Yeah.
I know I need food and air.
Mm-hmm.
Do I not, Evan?
You do. But I think once we have all that, I think it just hit me when Marco was talking there. It's like, I think we just
for it.
want to be better than the next guy.
That's what we desire.
Yeah.
Better than the next
I
guy.
think we just want to be better than the next guy, because if we're deserted on an island by ourselves, we really only think about survival and how to.
How is that better? Is that improvement? And I would say, actually,
Yeah.
my bottom line is that is a strongly masculine trait as well, being better than the next
Competitive.
guy.
Right.
Competitive, right? I always had this
Dude.
vision for years now. I says, in a psychedelic trance, I said, man, guys just honestly want to know who's best.
Yeah.
Dude, I was, before coming
So
here,
beautiful, so simple. They just want to, they don't care if it's not even them. They just want to know, they need to know who's best. Who's best at throwing the quarter?
That's
Who's
a good
best at
point.
fighting? Who's best at basketball? We just want to know.
Wow, that's a great point. You don't even necessarily want
You
to
don't
be the
even
best. You just
care.
need to know who is the
Who
best.
is the best in the room at
I
that
was
particular
gonna,
thing?
I wanted to mention that when you were saying about just trying to be better than another person. I feel like as I've gotten older, I really respect when I see someone who's like the best at what they do or really good at what they do. Like it's really
progressing
It feels
towards
good
that,
to
too.
see.
Yeah.
And actually, right before I came here, Hannah was watching some Korean game show thing, and there were like a bunch of guys like competing in something, right? And she mentioned
Slip
she
slide.
hated this one person because he was too competitive. I was like, what the? I got so
Give him a
mad.
chance.
I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to
Give him a
mean?
chance, all right?
Give the other guy.
They're all
a chance.
playing a
He's
fucking
in
game.
a competition.
Yeah, he's at a game, a
and
competition.
he's too
put on
competitive.
TV, and-
Yeah.
This is why I don't
What?
believe.
Wow.
This is why I don't
That's
believe
funny.
the women who say they like football.
Yeah, no, it's all BS. You're not wrong.
bullshit.
You're not
You're
wrong.
just there
bullshit.
because there's men who are interested in it. It's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
one of the guys.
Yeah.
I like Tom Brady.
It's sad, but it's true.
Their defense is not looking good
You
tonight.
women are so transparent. Oh, God.
Wow, look at that quarterback really throw that ball.
We're real here on Ancient Wisdom.
Yeah.
It's just really the giant women from country land. Pretend to like it. See?
We're all laughing because we know one.
But what do we all want? Women included.
Can I?
Go for it, Ryan. Live your truth.
I'm just gonna say how you guys are saying that people desire to be complex and want this and think about the other people. But what if some people desire and want to be the simple life, not care what other people are doing, want to do what they want to do, and live their life because that's the way they want to live.
They want to live their truth.
They want to live their truth because because the
Everyone's
people
racking up
because when
points.
there's people who want to live complex, there's still those people who want to live simple and don't really care what else is going on. You know.
What I hear you saying, Ryan, is that you can't be diffident about living your truth.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Finally, somebody confirm my truth. Confirm it.
Speak it, Mitch.
You got to do it yourself, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't
external.
live my truth without somebody constantly gratifying me. How else can I purely live my truth?
That's why I gotta
Unless
hang
you
a
tell
sign.
me that I'm right.
That's why I got to put up signs. Live
Put
your
up a
truth.
sign, all right?
On my
So
bathroom.
Fucking do it.
My
Mitch,
soap
it's
dish.
because you
Right
want
next to the toilet.
It's because you want and
later.
desire to someone to tell you to live your truth.
Whoa. I think the world would be a better place if we all just reminded each other to live our truth, man.
Unironically,
Like
I think the
Oprah.
answer to your question is to live your truth.
Oh my God! All right, well, let's break it down because this is fun. This is fun, right? I mean, you guys kind of got to the conclusion, but not Mitch's conclusion. We'll see about that.
Oh.
We got food.
He's saying he's better than us.
I'm saying, what was that line from before? We got food. What do I say about food? I say, when you have food, you're not dead. You're far from death. I want food. I want to be far from death. There's other reasons. There's more, dare I say, deep reasons why we want these things. What else do we want? Just on a basic level, what do we want? What do you want right now? Ryan was talking about hentai. He
No.
wants porn.
No.
Shelter.
He wants a lot of it all the time.
No.
I didn't say that. But why? Because sex is something short, feels good, but there's always a deeper meaning. We want this for a reason. And I tie this into marketing because marketing gets to the soul of a person. The marketers know more about us than we do.
Damn.
Think about it.
Yep.
Women hold 80% of the credit card debt. They're the most agreeable. They're the ones that buy into all the marketing, and it's the easiest to get to them because they sell them what they want. What do people want?
And I was thinking, it's very funny how marketing, it ties into the very short term immediate gratification or the very deep seated long term gratification. It's about like happiness and love and family in the long term, or just like sex and status and like just immediate symbols of power in the short term.
I like that.
What if you change that word want to need?
Ooh.
You know, say everything you just said, but need.
You know what? I was even imagining just straight Maslow's hierarchy from the bottom. Like, let's work our way up. Why the fuck not, right?
Yep.
Food security. We need that to not die.
Yeah.
That's for everything else to exist.
Yeah.
I need that first, right?
Short term, yeah.
It's short term. I need it to live to see tomorrow so that I could have my other needs or wants met.
Yeah.
But what else do we want? We want health. We want love. We want meaning. Do we not? And advertisers sell us this. It's very important. I was thinking about it this week, mostly because of the YouTube channel and marketing, but it's a deep concept. What do we want? Why do we want it? How do we get it? And who's willing to give it to us in perhaps the most covert way? Because the covert needs being given to you symbolizes love, much as sugar became big after the Wonder Bread thing. And those companies started to blow up because sugar became a symbol of love. I give you a birthday cake because I love you. Even though it's poison, you're poisoning your children.
That's true.
Isn't that crazy?
Halloween.
But somehow marketing convinced us that sugar means love.
Oh, yeah.
And-
That's how these holidays get their big chunk
Payday.
of change. Yeah, the big payday.
Yeah.
With Halloween, putting out the candy, especially
Yeah.
super fucking early now. Christmas gonna be around the corner.
Bro.
Chocolates and
already
sweets
out
and
for
cookies.
Halloween.
And
Yeah.
what's
know?
funny too, if you're the guy at the party that says
Fucking
you
August,
don't
by
want
the
to
way.
have all the candy or all the cake, you're just seen as an outcast. Like, that guy is just such a party
It doesn't
pooper. He doesn't want to poison the kids with us and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Granted,
he's a party pooper.
yeah,
right?
granted, you should. I mean, I shouldn't use that word.
Ah.
but you got to let loose sometimes. I mean, you can't just put off candy and cake all the time forever.
I think that's why it was defined as love back in the day. Right? It's something that probably was scarce, not around, not used before.
Luxury.
So,
True.
Luxury,
so I'm giving you
that's true.
something to celebrate your special day. We don't normally eat like this because this is not normal right now. Here.
Because it all probably
Poison
started
once a
one day
year
with
only.
here, it's your whatever, if they didn't call it a birthday at one point, but I made you this
Fun fact: 100 years ago, they didn't say the
They
word
didn't
birthday.
say birthday. They said day of birth.
Ooh,
And then they gave him like a little delicious treat, and it
Yep.
just happened to be sugary sweet.
back in the day, it was an apple, and we were happy
That was
with
the
it.
only sugar we had.
You had to eat the bark off a tree.
That was the only sugar we had. Marco, can you look up there if I think Hallmark made a few holidays
Wow.
themselves?
What?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I went
Can
out.
you confirm that? At least one or two. I swear they invented
Hallmark, like the-
Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
Oh, for
Valentine's.
sure.
Day.
Yeah, at least, but if not a couple more, they're just like, hey.
How amazing did they do with Valentine's
Dude, that's
Day?
what I'm talking
oh
about.
my god.
They got to the root
How?
of women's psychology, gave them everything they wanted, and convinced the world that your man doesn't love you unless he spends a lot of money on you. At least that
one day a year.
At least.
Just
And
one
Christmas.
day.
Christmas too.
Oh, yep. Well,
So it's
Jesus.
Well,
There's all that. But the sentiments
What
there.
does
What's up?
Jesus have to do with giving people presents?
You do gotta wonder where Santa came from, even though they say Saint Nicholas. But who really knows
Krampus.
what the hell Saint Nicholas did?
Yeah, they talk about it's all like pagan interpretation.
like Krampus.
Or, integration.
I like Christmas because there's lights and snow and nice smells.
I love cinnamon broomsticks.
Pumpkin pie.
You guys suck, all right. Marco, what does it say?
So, Hallmark hasn't made any holidays, but they feel as though they're overly commercialized, or at least some of them. And the two particular ones are Valentine's Day and Mother's Day.
Oh, those are the two.
The second one. You're
Wait. Can you just ask the robot, are you sure?
Yeah. I was gonna say that seems.
But Mitch,
That's very important
think
now.
about it. Valentine's Day and Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two most
The hugest love all around the woman. Oh my God. Yeah.
two of the
wow.
most profitable days in the restaurant industry as well.
Wow, straight up,
Oh
probably
my
just straight up in
God.
general. Yeah, I don't doubt
I
it.
honestly think they are the two most.
Oh yeah.
I
Straight
forgot I was at the grocery store on Valentine's Day one time, and I just see a line out the door of men with flowers. I'm like, this is kind of disgusting.
Simp
Dude.
culture.
When
was-
I went to pick up flowers for my mom for Mother's Day, the line was 45 minutes long, and we were just at like a
Embarrassing.
stop and shop.
Anyways, I'll let you take it over.
What else do we want? Give me a word. Ryan, quick.
I don't know.
Too late. Evan.
Oh, I was on the adaptation thing earlier.
I didn't ask you about adaptation things.
I'm sorry. What do we want? I
Give
think
me
we
one
want
word, quick. Too late. Marco, give me
love.
one word, real quick. Love, I heard. What is love?
To be seen.
Oh.
Oh, to be heard.
Now we're getting deep. Thank you, Marco, for participating in the show about ancient wisdom.
Wasn't one word though.
I like heard as
kidding.
well.
Yeah, to be heard.
To be heard, people want to be heard. Okay, so why do they want to be heard?
Because people want to be known.
Oh.
Because people want
Why do
their
people want
name
to be
out
known?
there.
I don't even-
This goes back to what we were talking about, putting your name on stuff. The people who want to be heard want their name on stuff because they're like, "Oh, check this out. This is mine. Now go tell everyone about it."
One step deeper. You're so close.
I don't think it's known. I think it's
Why?
noticed.
Noticed.
Evan mentioned earlier, or was it you, about the person who just wants the average life, wants to just work the 9 to
Right.
5 or work on the fields or go to the office job or whatever that is. So then come home,
Now we're talking.
family, kids, whatever. They want that. So it's
Marco,
more
you
about
get a
just
gold star.
gold. That's a new star.
That's
Did I get? Am I closer to saving the princess? Or something?
yeah, you got it, pal. It's got a little smiley face on it too.
Yeah.
That's deep. We just want to be heard, man. But what it is noticed, is appreciated. Might I use that term to
Yes.
evolve it a little bit? We want to be appreciated, recognized for our efforts. We had done something. I want to live my truth, and you better tell me I did a good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You better tell me I did.
I mean, work probably feels shitty for most people nowadays because everyone's just a number. No
Yeah.
one is
Oh, man.
remotely
It's true.
appreciated for what they've done.
Marco, you're in first place by a mile tonight. Listen, that's great.
Oh, no.
That's why work sucks these days. I felt it myself. I'm sure you guys feel it too. When you're a cog in the machine and you need a little bit of appreciation. You need enough to make yourself want to work for the company.
fuck
You
yeah.
have to appreciate the structure enough
And then-
to want to go the extra mile, or else what's it for?
And if you go try to work over, work your hardest to try to get noticed, you don't.
You can't be the company.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
really
that's
work
deep.
your way up traditionally
Yeah,
companies anymore.
that's not really a thing.
The meta is
anymore.
now to just literally leave and quit
Yep.
and keep
and
upping your
leverage
skills.
it at another
Yeah.
company if you're
Keep
lucky.
fucking smudging your resume and making you sound like infinitely cool.
Yeah.
Because
Damn it.
even though you want to be noticed, some people might not want to notice you.
And that's okay.
you
It's just that one person at the very least.
One person just takes one.
Yeah.
Speaking of
It
propaganda,
takes
in the
one
holidays,
person to notice you to be known.
There's no.
deep, Ryan. Live your truth, man.
Live my truth.
Oh, it's so fresh. We need fun ones like this all the time.
There's no.
That's
ma-
just this is a meme one. That's why.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's
they
not
can't
that
all
it's-
be zingers.
I enjoy this one because there is that difference between the complex and the
eternal.
simple, because people, it's just the way that certain people want to live their truths.
Yeah, you can
know?
use it deeply, like we have
Yeah.
a few times, or you can just
Because
fuck
I
around.
would
Yeah.
say,
live your truth, bro.
Man, this guy cares about me.
because I could say
He
I want to
sees
live
me.
my truth by just living my life the way I want to live it.
You guys are like so deep. Why are you not swimming in poon?
It's because the poon's gonna take over.
It's because you're gonna drown in it. Frankly,
Yeah.
you might as well not have it.
you don't
'cause
want
you're
to
gonna drown in it.
die. Yeah, I mean, speaking of not dying, what does family really mean? Why do people
Can
even want to have a family?
Could I
Oh,
comment on that? Because I disagree with the want to be noticed thing from Miller. I think having family is a huge desire of ours, which I think is another way of not dying and living on forever because your genes
But
live
then-
throughout your children.
But then there's other people who don't want that family and they just want to live their simple life.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not very family oriented. I guess you could
Okay.
say.
Nobody likes family in this room.
But that's what,
I mean,
but that's what sex is.
that's,
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
saying like I wouldn't like go like above and beyond for one of my family members, but like I don't care. I need to talk to you every day. I really don't.
You're just going through a phase,
But then-
Marco.
Okay.
But then people can talk family as in not blood, but like as in like close friendships.
Okay.
That you develop like, oh, I've known you guys for so long. You're like a family to me. Blood.
Well, sure. Let's
you know?
branch that and just use the word friendship. People want friendship, right?
Yeah.
Why do they want friendship?
To have comfort space, maybe someone who they can rely on. Someone who they can.
Someone's just hear
someone's
your
just
story.
there.
or just vibe, bro.
Just a vibe,
man. They just want to chill and just escape.
Do we really want friends?
Now you're throwing a wrench in there.
Man.
Or we just want to sit by the campfire, not alone in the darkness. I don't know.
Man, Marco, you are reaching new levels of depth tonight.
Damn.
I'm
They
just
all-
thinking like the gaming, specifically the RuneScapers. Everyone is in a Discord card. There's like 20 fucking
They're
people
in a
in there.
video game
No
on
one's
fire.
talking about really anything.
Yeah.
We're just like kind of coexisting. Maybe some people are bossing, but it's just like that's it.
If
It's
you
just
take
like
that out of
sitting,
the-
camping out on a fire, no one's really interacting much.
You're at a fake video game fire.
Essentially,
Sitting
I'm like a Dark Souls, just like waiting for my
Oh, the
group.
fire is the computer screen. Whoa, that's weird.
coming out.
Well, I think if you take it out of the cyber world in that scenario, sitting by the fire, it really is just having friends around you as a way to satisfy your Maslow's hierarchy of needs of survival, because you're more likely to survive in a group around a campfire at night in primal past days kind of stuff.
Oh, sure.
This
like
is
more
why
levels
we're
of
simple, 'cause
security.
You can just break it down to an archetype.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
likely to
Yeah.
get food and shelter. Shelter's easier to build with more people, safety in numbers. And you think men are kind of like the biggest proponents of the lower stages of the hierarchy, because
I
we're
could agree with
really
that.
just at the end of the day, we just need survival.
Yeah,
and
they're the
food.
protectors and providers.
And
That's like their
offspring.
responsibility. Yeah.
So it's not that do we want friends, but do we need friends?
So what I hear you guys saying is that humans may be more simple than we think.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we all in agreement on this?
I think
when,
so.
when you break us down.
No?
No.
Oh, Poach says no. What
The
do we got,
booth is
Poach?
saying no.
I'm going to say that Michelangelo would
Regret.
not want any friends. He would just want to be as complex and artistic as he could be with his time on Earth.
What about if no one gave a fuck? No one saw what he did.
He wouldn't care. He would still do it.
He would just do it.
He would just do it anyway for God.
Oh. Now, is
something
that a
driving
desire
him.
for complexity? Is that a desire for God? Is that a desire because of God, via God, meaning in his life? Dare I say?
There's a driving force that is wanting him to strive towards a more complex style of living. That's all I can say.
Why does anyone want to make a difference? Why does anybody want to make waves?
I
on
wasn't
this
saying he
earth?
was trying to make a difference.
I'm not saying you said that he's saying he's going to make a difference.
As long as we agree.
I'm branching to the next topic. Why do you think people desire this meaning, let's call it? Because you could say, I'm sure everyone will agree around this room, hey, yeah, meaning would be nice to have in my life.
What I hear you saying is that. Well, maybe I don't hear you saying this because you're posing, you're posing
Actually,
the
this
question.
is a whole new thought. Yeah, no.
But I think we don't really. The Michelangelo example, he was thinking less about meaning and friends back in the day because there was just. You weren't reminded with mass media and social media today about how few friends you have because all these people are out there living amazing lives on the internet. So
That's a big part, right?
his idea
It's
of a
not
party.
in your face all the time, much like sex, everything is now.
Right, absolutely.
Constantly overstimulated by everything.
Yeah, his idea of meaning was the painting that he created before him.
So there is meaning.
Yep.
You agree. Mm-hmm. So he had a desire for meaning. He wanted that. But it wasn't sort of a superficial marketing sense of meaning.
Right.
And
It was perhaps
But
divine
you're
in a
asking
way.
what caused him to have that meaning in the first place.
Damn, Marco, I'm telling you.
So
You're on it.
this is actually hard because I'm thinking, as Poe was talking, right, he's saying that he would still have that desire. But then I started to try and ask the extreme. But if it was never seen from the start, like no family, no one to care at all, where does your question come from? This is where your question comes
that's
in.
a rough one.
Then how does desire even come about? If no one's there to see you, no one's there to notice you, you have to learn everything yourself. Do you have the desire to learn for yourself if you're just in an empty black void?
Man, deep. It's hard to put yourself in those shoes. And
Right.
you could only assume so far. And it's just like, it needed to come from somewhere. If you're a blank slate, the old blank slate principle.
Yeah.
Where does it really all come from? The desire in the first place. I mean, nowadays we go without thinking because of what Evan said, that it's just in your face all the time. You're told what to desire because marketing is so damn good.
Go to
It's
school.
everywhere.
Can I answer where it came from?
Sure.
I think we all weren't really supposed to have it to the extent that desire. I don't
Desire.
think we were
Thank
supposed
you.
to have it to the extent today that we do.
Yep.
But I feel like because parents and the people around us when we were growing up didn't do a good job of instilling comfort in us, that we're going out and seeking it in the world now, and it's like the
Comfort,
case
you
for
say?
everybody.
What do you mean by comfort? What'd
We
you say?
weren't. Our needs weren't provided for as a fragile little baby. So now we're out in the world trying to find being
deeper-
unsatiated with our desires because our basic desires weren't met early on in life when we trusted those around us to give it to us.
Yeah, and I would take it one step farther to say they weren't really tended to.
Right.
They weren't cared for. They weren't nurtured. Because perhaps maybe the parents are primarily concerned with 1 and 2,
Right.
safety and psychological security, whatever you want to call it.
Because otherwise, we might not want to desire anything. And but who's been the real first example in the world to have had that perfect childhood?
Well, let me cut to my conclusion, and I say the deeper meaning behind the want for meaning, I think, is simply to have deep roots and deep ties to what is. Am I right? We want to feel like there's meaning because there's ties to what is, to make you feel like you're not a separate entity in this world, that you're not so distant from everybody after all, that there is a divinity and human connection. Maybe there's a divinity between you and the divinity. There's a connection there, and being powerful, you know it. Dudes conquer the world because they just want to know that they exist. They want to feel like, and that the bastardization of that, of course, is power, because there's bastardizations of all these wants, of all these desires and all these needs. Ryan so astutely pointed out.
I always like your analogy.
You eat enough food, you turn into a fat guy. Sorry, Marco.
No, I always like your analogies when you use roots for some reason. Like the idea of like growing and expanding, whatever that might mean. Like, why even grow and expand in the first place? But we do it. Like growing, coming out of something is kind of like what we do as humans in general.
Right.
I like to believe in humans, so I like to go all the way back, actually. I want to believe that we are complex. But oftentimes, my talks with you, when we break people down, how many times have you guys ever heard Mitch like just completely break down a human after like 2 seconds of meeting him, and he's like spot on, and it's a little gross? Yeah,
You end up getting disgusted.
It's not fun to do that, actually. Like it kind of takes the soul out of living, but it's possible because on some level we are simple, but the special amongst us aren't. And I think those are the people who grow out, who have that ability the most to just find the way out of that dark room that they're stuck in. Because you can choose to just live in that dark room and only know what you can see in there, which might not be anything, or maybe just some shadows, like that famous thought experiment, right? I forget exactly this one, the shadows on the wall.
Oh, Plato's cave.
Yes.
So, Marco, what I hear you saying is they are going to live their truth.
Yes.
He's like, you missed the whole point. All right, I was trying to be deep.
I think that's why the population is so depressed, because those roots and ties to the life and the ways of everything, what is everything. We're not attached to that as we might have used to be in history, conquering and exploring the land and just breaking down barriers.
Guidance.
And then using the tree analogy, the tree grows and the branch breaks off.
Or you can just say the soil.
What does that symbolize, Ryan?
It symbolizes I forgot where I was going with it.
You're this close to being super
close.
deep. That's fucking sick. I like it. This is good. This is fun. That was a huge ayahuasca vision for me too, especially afterwards. I swear to God, during I was sort of like the bark going up the trunk, and I can't. Oh yeah, so deep. And then afterwards, I was just this growth. I felt like I'm here to grow, as if all life does.
Wow.
I'm here to grow, and I'm stretching. I could feel it even beyond myself. Just the leaves growing. I said, I'm still growing. Like, I'm here to be a beautiful flower for the world. Like, I'm here to enjoy and be myself and do whatever comes with that, and just perhaps interact with a few cool people along the way.
Part of everything that's happening. Just
Yes.
I have felt exactly what you're explaining, like the act of growing.
It's so beautiful. It's
very weird
powerful.
thing.
Yeah.
I've liked two things. I've always liked that too, because the rest of that story is how you also envisioned that women or the perfect match to you would be like a set of vines growing around and just helping you do nothing but grow. I always liked that a lot. And I also wonder if we as men experience it as a growing, and if women would experience it as life as something else.
Interesting. Damn, I can't say for sure, but I really like that sentiment.
Yeah.
Man, it's so true. The power behind it all. The man is the tree, the strong, firm, stable, growing into the sky.
Just say dick too.
Well,
I mean, that's
we can get Jungian with
what's-
phallic visions if you
yes,
want.
not to get phallic, but that is what brought up the idea in the first
Sure.
I almost think male and female is so opposite that it's not even, female isn't even like a supportive vine.
Hot
It's
take,
like
okay.
it's like a fungus.
Well, we got.
that would be negative.
Yes, but it depends on your perspective, because you need fungus in the world.
It
you
is
need
very
you need
important.
decomposition. in the
That's
world.
right. Very
Aren't you
important.
of the religious mindset that they were God made men and women to kind of do a thing? So I think that
but not equally.
well,
from the rib.
I do like Mitch's idea a lot because it kind of sounds a little divine. You got
feels divine.
You got the tree growing up, the vine supporting, but also taking nurture from the tree. That's what vines do.
And facts. And think about the feminine kind of love. It needs sort of that support. And it could also, of course, the negative aspect of the female love is strangulation.
It chokes the rosebuds.
It chokes. Think about it. The overbearing mother. It's a trope as old as time.
You know,
If it's too tight, it could strangle the plant to death.
Yeah.
But if not, it's a reciprocal relationship.
It starts to grow the fungus and the vine.
And then it turns into
the
Evan's
inside.
fungus.
Whatever.
Rots from the inside.
Rots from the inside.
destroys the tree.
But you need rot for the next thing to grow.
Wow, you guys are so deep.
People are not going to like us for this just because.
Yeah, no,
Women
this
are
is-
not rot, okay?
Yes.
Okay, guys.
We love women.
Here's another email.
All right, so I'll get to the big conclusion and we'll move on. Ryan was right the whole time. Kind of, but not really. I thought the conclusion of all this, and let me know if you agree, was attaining the desire to not desire.
How is that possible?
Just live a simple life.
That's the whole
Live
point.
The
your
simple
truth.
life. The basic, the flow, perhaps, if you will. There's many definitions.
$60K a year.
But when it's there, there's
$75,000 a year.
75,000. I don't gotta worry about a thing. My timeshare takes care of itself.
My 401k.
All right, guys, I want to move on. Let's get worldly. I've been talking a lot. Let's let Poge get the reins for a man versus machine segment.
So clean.
So clean.
Where you can do more than average, but also exist there.
Marco says he agrees with me, but he also doesn't agree with me.
So contrary.
Is that true? Is that
He's
true,
being
Marco?
complex.
So
I know,
you
right?
guys,
So
have
deep
you guys
right now.
figured it out?
Living his truth.
So, we have AI, right? We have animals, right?
Yes.
We have language, right?
That's right.
This guy claims that he has figured out how to interpret animal language using AI into human words. He has tried to make an animal translation machine. Check this out.
You can see here is a translator that we built. So you will see sequences of vocalizations running on the screen. Okay, up here these
He's got
are
a
what we call
sound
the time
wave.
signal of the vocalizations.
This
And
is
then
from
the
a
machine
bat,
will process each
like in a
sequence,
cave,
and down
like
here we
Batman.
will see the decoding. What was the context of the interaction?
And he put it through AI, and the AI listened to many bats in many
Processing,
caves and
this
determined
was
that
an interaction
is
about food.
about food. So he did this. He did this for a lot of bats and a lot of animals, and he did this for a lot of situations. He put animals in rooms. He filmed them eating. He filmed them, doing the dirty. He filmed them just like hanging out with humans, asking for stuff. And the whole time, the AI was watching it, was filming it, and recording the sounds. So now the AI has trained itself to just look at the animal, interpret it, and then spit out the English version of what it's asking.
Freaky. They're doing that in China right now with humans.
Whoa.
Looking at facial recognition and just like
True.
figuring out they said you could this AI is figuring out where crimes are going to be committed even where before they happen.
Right.
All types of weird stuff.
My big thing in this is something that already existed, that humans were able to do.
Now we're talking. That's getting ancient.
When we were able to somehow live with the animals, we didn't need a supercomputer to tell us what they were trying to tell us.
I don't need a supercomputer to tell me.
But we've been so far removed now that this is the only way to communicate with animals. So what I would want to ask you guys is, why did we get so far removed from being able to talk to animals? Was this possible once before? And are we just chasing our own tail here, trying to get back to the past?
I want to say back in the past, we could speak to animals in a sense of like grunts and noises and hand gestures and things like that. And then they started to become pets where the animal tries sometimes to point out, like, I want food, I need this, I need that. We still do it. I still feel like we do that because I can use a reference as my buddy's girlfriend's dog gestures when it needs to go outside, and then he picks up on that. So I think in a sense we still can speak to animals in a sense, you know?
Well, you know, body language, what they say about body language being 90% of human communication. So we never really communicated with them, but if you're around people all the time, you could pick up on social cues more clearly. So yeah,
I think the body language is a big part of it. Like if you spend time with like your goats in the field, you would just know just based on how they look at you what they would want.
Yeah.
Now we need a supercomputer to analyze their face to figure out if they're thirsty, hungry, or whatever.
And those are the basic things.
We've lost
anyways.
that like that integral like natural connection.
Bonding.
Yeah, like the like you said, the body language. Like when you shrug or when you get like a disappointed face, like I look at a person, I know what that means.
Yeah.
I think in the past we used to be able to do that with a lot of animals, and we just forgot how.
Yeah. Because it became pets.
It's
know?
still
That's
it's
my
still
point.
learned, right? And you still have to like kind of learn that body language from somewhere. If you're a farmer, right, and you go out, you know what your goats want because you've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, more specific, I think maybe back in the day we existed more in a flow state because there was just less to do. Like, anyone ever have a bird land on them? I know Mitch has. And I know he was in a very, very different headspace when something like that happened. I know another person who just a few times they just go sit down. It's Hannah's grandma. You've met her before.
Oh yes,
Very sweet lady.
that's right.
Very lovely. Very just one with the
nature oriented. Yeah.
How many times she just goes out there and a random bird just kind of flies, sits, bees with her, chills.
That's dope.
It's because she's calm, existing, not this loud randomness jarble that we are nowadays.
Yeah.
And we're that right now, and that's maybe a result of us trying to figure out who we are.
Deep. Yes, the tension
And
of the
now
day
we need help coming back to understanding
with
things we already knew.
supercomputers.
Can I say?
Supercomputer.
Can I say?
Help me
We'll
find
figure out how
out.
to get
Help me
ourselves
live my
back there
truth.
too.
Yeah.
soon.
Can I say, like, living a simpler life? You can indulge more and bond more with the animals, and then more complex life, things get crazy, so you start forgetting and you start neglecting, and then you just like whatever.
Yeah.
It's just
Maybe
kinda
we
there.
didn't see ourselves as so superior to animals. Like
That's a huge
like
one.
maybe you could tell this to someone, and then someone could just be like, "Animals don't talk. This is stupid. And there's just random noises picking up on animals have no greater consciousness."
So this is perfect, Marco. You bring up my next
nice.
question.
Here we go.
My next question is, what is our dominion over animals, and where does it end? Now, like, and I'm gonna bring up another thing. Do you think that this AI technology could be used to hunt animals unfairly,
Oh, wow,
absolutely.
I could
convince
see.
them to do things unfairly?
You get the apps going on.
So what is
Yes
our
to all
dominion?
that.
What can we and should we not do with this?
animals are basically our slaves because, like,
Nice.
I just think it's interesting that this guy even set out to create something like that. It's because, like, really, you couldn't figure out that all they were wanting to talk about was like danger, sex, and food.
It's kind of all they've been saying.
Like,
yeah,
right? They're not.
Oh,
gonna,
what?
They're not going
It's
to
like,
be.
well, you got to wait. This is taking jobs. They already had this in the Audubon Society. They were talking to birds for years now.
Right.
That's another reason why I say this is a little like obscene, is because they only found like 4 messages.
Yeah.
That's
Food,
fucking funny.
sex, fight.
Oh wait, animals are.
about man?
You can't say that.
Oh god,
It's
that's
like
too
you
funny.
hear them trying to have a conversation about, what do you think about humans, man? Those weird things walking
Yeah,
around.
they're
not
crazy.
They're not. They think danger or friends.
Not
That's
everything
like
is a
all they-
Pixar movie.
Yeah, exactly. Basically.
Yeah. I don't know, domain, right? Because then we're going to start interpreting their message like China's going to start interpreting me. They're going to know what I want. They're going to know my desire. They're going to know my every move.
Oh, are you
Perhaps
saying
even
like,
before
oh,
I
like
do it.
that we're gonna have like a Pentagon group talking to the dolphins? and-
I think so. I heard the dolphins are
kind of
smart.
got that personalized ads.
Oh, yeah.
That is literally what
Dude.
Poj is explaining too.
The phone's listening to
They
you.
know we talked about it, but they
yeah.
know we kind of thinking about wanting it. Here's an ad for it. Convenient, isn't it? Come spend money. And then, why wouldn't we use it to hunt or do things or whatever we want with certain animals? If we're going that far, I hope we run simulations and understand that we're not going to like destroy populations and kill ourselves in the process of such manipulation of things.
I don't know, Marco.
I agree with Evan. We are animals at the end of the day. So far, even from this thing, just want simple things. Like we are higher on the food chain, so we take priority. We have dominion over them.
I think we're bastardizing what they are, though, because bestiality is on the rise in the world too, and it's like, and people are.
Oh my God! Are you saying this AI?
It's gonna be used as a sex chat room. Oh my God!
Well, I wouldn't put it past some of these people, but like the people who like, the people who like open their mouth for their dogs to lick inside their mouth and stuff like that. And it's like they're making themselves equal to human.
I have
I'll
seen
say
these
real quick
stories
that this is a very touchy subject.
because I love dogs.
Yeah.
That's right. Was that
me
where you
too,
go?
me too. But like some,
No, he means
Some
he
of it gets-
loves dogs.
oh gosh,
But I think about hunting, and hunting is so dead. I don't know. Do people hunt anymore besides Tucker Carlson and some guy in Scandinavia and Russia riding a bear?
My sister's husband.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's cool, but like, but also, you remember when they invented guns?
Yeah.
You remember when they invented like sniper scopes and shit? I don't know. I wasn't around. I can't judge too much, but that would have taken a lot of the fun out of it. Tracking the herd for months sometimes, tracking their annual migration patterns, smelling poop,
and getting close enough,
licking
to
the
use
wind and going like this.
That's
Nobody
not
does this.
No one does.
No one does this anymore. They got an app.
for the wind, which way the wind's blowing.
They got a fucking app.
Open the weather app.
Yeah,
All
nobody
these
smells
animals
poop
are
anymore.
tracked, can find the tracker.
Oh, yep, that's a big one too.
Yeah, the scope,
We want
like
to study that.
the scope narrowed your distance between you and your prey by
are you
like
kidding me?
hundreds of times.
Yeah. You had to get close. Like, it used to be a man's sport. It's rough. You know, you can hunt if you want, sure. But, like,
I still.
that was legit back in the day.
To be,
Tracking. Like, we don't even track. Tracking itself was an art.
I want my guns to be the little ball shots.
Oh, yeah.
No rifling on my barrel. It can go
You sound
anywhere.
like a gun
in 100.
professional.
No, I'll take a repeater rifle, no scope, just the iron sights and whatever
Now
happens.
Oh my God.
He sounds like a Call of Duty.
Sounds
about
like
to
you guys
say,
are okay with
No,
using
I'm a
the
Western
AI to
guy,
hunt.
man.
Yes. This is in
Okay.
World War.
As long as we agree.
What is it going to be? An app, Poj? You think
It's
you're
gonna be you
Yeah.
attach a microphone to your phone.
Oh, and it's going to start
It goes
speaking.
and
Trying to fuck.
Dude, that's what the duck whistle calls are. The
Am I
little
good
thing
at
like-
it?
Yeah.
Am I a good duck caller?
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are those guys that invented that? The Duck Dynasty.
Dynasty.
fucking
Duck
guys?
Dynasty, yeah, those guys and made a
Ruined
ton of money.
hunting.
That was
Yeah.
the
Which
original.
that says like what
AI.
happened to hunting. Like hunting used to be so simple, where it was
Oh.
for food, and
Yes.
for like
Nice.
clothing, and now it's just for sport.
Sport, yeah. Hopefully you tan the deer hide in your old, make some venison jerky.
Yeah, but no, most of the people today do it
I don't
for
know.
sport.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it all has to be used.
They'll still
Legally?
eat it. Yeah,
I think so.
they'll still eat it if they hunt it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because they might as well. They don't do it just to like hold up the horns for a
Kill this
photo.
Well,
motherfucker.
you can't.
That's what women
the,
think.
the
yeah.
really rich people probably do. Like,
The
I gotta go
regular-
kill a
yeah, what was
tiger.
it? Those
Fucking-
people that killed
We
the
don't
lion.
hunt rhinos
Yeah.
anymore, guys. Remember that? Have you seen those old pictures
Yeah,
where they're
yeah.
like shooting rhinos and standing on the dead body? It seems so like outlandish now. They just wanted to kill huge creatures.
You're trying to kill shit. Use the gun.
Yeah, just wanted to kill shit. You think they were eating hippo meat? Real question. You think they were? You think they were eating hippos?
There's
You
some
think that's
dude that
good?
definitely ate
Like
him.
Yeah.
these people that killed
Wonder how it
elephants and
tastes.
rhinos.
Very
What
fatty.
happened to the meat?
Yeah.
The tribes people came out and took that shit.
You get an old piano. It's elephant tusk.
Let's talk
As the
about bear meat.
keys.
Let's summon Joe
Ivory.
Rogan from the ether.
Yeah. Oh. Teach us about hunting.
Yeah,
Get out of here, Joe.
You ever tried bear meat?
Yo, we were about to go to a spot in Japan with beer meat.
What?
We never made it. There's like a famous restaurant that sells bear meat up there.
Oh wow, I wonder what that tastes like.
Yeah. Gamey.
as they say.
Apparently
That's the
it's
word,
good.
but I feel gay even saying that. What's up?
People who were on that podcast, apparently it's
Oh.
good.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
fatty.
I mean, that's what I wanted to try. Yeah, it sounds dope. It turns you into a beast. Turns you into
It's probably
a
better
man.
tasting meat than cows. Is just what we've been
Yeah, and hopefully it's
doing.
raised in the wild, so it's got all the good nutrients.
eating honey and
Instead of
berries
just
all the
like-
time.
Yeah.
Some
There's
salmon.
one of those
Salmon?
bears that you hate, Mitch, that you think is a guy in a costume.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't want to eat those bears.
Those
First
bears
it's
taste a little
bestiality,
funny.
then you start eating your brothers.
Ugh.
Ain't cool. Ain't cool, guys. Let's change it up. I want to get to a little bit of dose. I want to dose you guys. There's a new variant coming with a dose of reality. Yeah, right, that's your dose. Dosing, baby. That's your dose of the day. What they call it in South Park when they ate the cat piss or something?
Oh, cheesin'.
Cheesin', that's right. A little dose of reality. I got another. Let's get deep again. Why not? We'll go back and forth. That feels like a fun thing for our listeners. Mark, are you typing?
Oh, yeah.
Dose of reality.
Question.
I want to know. The fight, is it equivalent to the hunt? Why is it that we defy everything? Why is it tension is on the rise? Is it the rise of this entropy that we feel? We've sort of already agreed going forward that humans can be, perhaps complexity is growing. That's one of the rules of thermodynamics. Entropy increases, and maybe you could use that as novelty. Could be a good word to use. Perhaps you could use that as complexity. What word do you guys like to use? And is it agreeing? Is it true in the first place? I should say.
Say it's othering, like our topic from another week.
Nice.
We define the boundaries between each other so much because we see the other people as separate than us, when we're really all just having identical experiences, slightly different circumstances, but the suffering's the same, the contentment is the same.
I like the
varying
idea of the
degrees.
social defiance. I like the idea of like the same reason why people can't connect anymore. It's hard to
Yeah.
connect, the sense of community.
Like the root analogy you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier. That's why people are more depressed than now.
True. Like,
now
do
more
we
than
dare
ever.
to connect? Why do you think that people have this trouble with connecting these days? I mean, besides all the social media and stuff, but I think community is a huge part of it as well. Like, but we fight it. Nobody wants to be friends. All right, no one wants to talk, so here we go. When I was younger, I realized a deep truth about life. I realized that as a man in particular, tell me if you're feeling this, I was hated off the bat. Hated off the bat. Someone looks at me, they hate you. If a dude looks at you, he hates you because you're competition. Girl looks at you, she hates you because you're a potential predator. You have to, especially as a man, but maybe as everybody, earn people's trust. There's a defiance. There's a fight right off the bat.
You're not in the group. It's the othering thing. It's the same thing with neighboring tribes and indigenous times. You know, someone new comes to your campsite. You're like, what's going on? I don't
that's
like
right.
this. Something
Yeah.
new.
Very
like
primal.
The animals, very
but we're so
danger,
advanced,
danger.
right? We're so evolved, right?
Yeah.
But what if that
Social
new person enters the group and everyone chooses that person over you?
Yeah, that's
the
one of the
biggest fear,
fears.
you know?
Yeah, that's the biggest fear for the man in particular. It's
you
the
don't-
tension.
Because you don't want to feel indifferent about the choices and what the new person to this group, you know, so they have to kind of
Going back to feeling valued, feeling validated.
yeah, you don't want to feel like not part of it. Like you want to keep the group, like ease this new person in, kind of feel them out, see if
You
they,
should hope if
you
you're
know.
lacking this defiance, and you're sort of open to that stuff. But I argue that it's rare these days.
Is this going against us wanting what we talked about earlier, wanting to be seen though? Isn't it?
Is this going to?
Seen by who? The more
Yeah.
important, important seeming people.
Well, I'm going down the route more of tension. Marco, you got a lot of stories of tension. When I say that word, what comes to mind?
Bill Marco,
That's right.
your shoulder.
Now, where
face.
does this come from?
I don't know.
The tension. He doesn't know,
I
folks.
wish I
know.
knew, man.
Damn, Evan knows.
I don't know. Probably our sedentary lifestyle. Probably that's what my shoulder
Well, how
pain comes
scientific
from.
of you.
I know.
How about
I have a crazy knot for YouTube video theory as to why I have the pain in the first place.
Well, you're on a YouTube video right now, Marco.
It's not for you.
Subscribe.
Oh, it's not, you said. Subscribe to our Rumble. That's right. This is our... we can't say it live. Wait, what? Your theory about your shoulders is not for YouTube?
I don't want to sound
Too
like that
dark.
crazy of a person on YouTube.
That's like,
right?
did you see that Joe Rogan clip where dude was talking to Paul Stamets and he's like brought up portobello mushrooms and he's like, don't fucking talk about portobello mushrooms.
What?
My life is at risk.
What?
Paul Stamets said it to Joe Rogan. He like got mad serious. I should play the clip
That's
or something.
odd.
Yeah, we don't know to this day, but he like stopped the conversation. He's like, don't you fucking bring up portobello mushrooms. I'm doing it
I'd
more
be curious
intense.
to
But
know.
it was,
I'd be
you
curious
guys
to
got to
know.
check it out. Maybe I'll throw it up or something like that. It's pretty intense.
Oh, I didn't expect that. It puts your life in danger talking about portobello mushrooms?
So I was going to say, what about if tension is kind of referring to...
Are you just reading the robot right now?
No,
Yeah,
a more-
It looks like he's reading the robot right now. Tell
a
me
more
something
physics
deep about tension.
definition
Yeah.
of tension.
Okay. Go for it.
Such that you are noticing an opposing force. Acting.
Noticing an opposing
Right?
force.
I looked up
Wow.
the physics definition of tension to try and see if there was
Nice.
something
Thank
there
you,
that-
Good use
Marco.
of the
All
robot.
right, depth. We're getting somewhere. We're
I was-
moving. This train just got some fuel.
I was going to use the word displacement of
Well,
your position.
I like that word, displacement.
because
Yep.
you have the potential to be displaced
It
in your
is
role in
stretching
life.
Right.
you, so things will get displaced.
Stretching,
You-
displaced.
space will- orientation will change as well. So
And I think it comes back all to death, fear of death.
Death.
Displacement could be death. A stranger, anything new is death. Tension is death because
It's
death-
putting up a fight.
Yeah,
In your definition.
and
It is
sometimes
fighting the flow.
fights can lead to death.
Well, I thought this topic would be deeper. Let's move on to a little bit of Dao, because Evan said that word. Oh, there he is. Oh my God. We're really chugging along. This is Dao Chapter 5. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready?
Can I ask how many chapters are in the Tao?
Sure. It's 81.
81?
That's right.
Wow.
We got some episodes to go, but we're chugging along. Heaven and earth are not humane. The 10,000 things act as straw dogs. The holy man is not humane. The 100 families are straw dogs. Is not the space between heaven and earth like a bellows? Empty, but it does not collapse. The more that is displaced, the more it produces. Many words regarded as destitute. Just observe the core.
Wow, you used the word displaced,
Oh, wow.
which
Isn't
I
that
used
funny?
earlier. The
Oh
more
my
it's-
God,
the more
facts.
it's displaced, the more it produces, is what the line was.
That's right. You got it, pal?
That was kind of the point I was trying to make with why.
Oh, sure it was.
Why be against being displaced? Kind of like let yourself be displaced because you don't know the outcome of that. You don't know if you can produce more by being displaced. You don't know the outcome of your displacement
Man,
in a group.
that's hot. Displacement. Isn't that how Archimedes measured the volume of the crown? You guys
It
remember
sounds
that story?
right, but I don't know. It's
The king had this this very, it was a crown. It was very oddly shaped. It's not like a square. You can't do regular calculations.
Right.
So instead, he displaced the water,
In
dropped the
water,
crown in,
right.
and measured the amount that the water rose. And you just have to do the circle of the pool.
pretty genius.
Pretty genius.
Yep.
Deep stuff.
So Tao also. It's just like you
Damn.
measure what's around. You measure what's
Super
around.
solutions.
You measure what's around the thing you're trying to measure.
So what I hear you
measure it.
saying is that the indirect could be equivocal.
Yeah, and Yeah, that's it.
Why is the holy man, heaven and earth, not humane? Direct translation, by the way.
That's crazy.
It's not humane. Think about it. I mean, we hunt creatures all the time, even if we speak their language.
Maybe in the holy man's attempt to be holy is when he becomes inhumane.
I like it. Too much effort.
Yes. Because
And
if you're a
therefore-
holy man, who's saying is someone else saying you're a holy man, or is the holy man saying he's the holy man?
Oh my God. It is unclear.
Right.
Complicated things by even calling yourself a holy man.
Oh,
You just should be a man.
And be simple.
damn. Ryan's about the simple life today.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
I like the simple life.
Live your truth.
Well, then let's go with this. Straw dogs. What's that about? The 10,000 things act as straw dogs. The 100 families act as straw dogs. Now the 100 families is more like, the way I interpret it anyway, is just like a village at the time was smaller. That was the 100 families. It was everyone around. It was die communauté. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say if straw dogs are being used as a positive or a negative.
It's a racial epithet.
Oh.
What?
No one thought that was funny?
Could you
Okay.
repeat the line? I'm not sure.
Heaven and earth are not humane. The 10,000 things act as straw dogs. The 100 families act as straw dogs.
100 families act as straw dogs.
All right, let me throw a little kindling in. I got to make a phrase, a name for something when I throw the kindling in.
Stoke the fire.
I got to stoke the fire. Yeah, that's a good one. I got to stoke the fire here a
We
little
should
bit,
get you a
folks.
poking stick.
Yeah, give me the poking stick. When you guys are sucking fucking marbles, I'll just poke the fire.
Got to stoke the show a little
I got to
bit.
stoke the show a little bit. Blow on the embers. Oh, here we go. Blowing on the embers. Is not the space between heaven and earth like a bellows? Do you guys know what the definition of bellows is? Have you guys ever heard this word? It's that stupid thing that you squeeze and air comes out. That stokes the fire. I got to get bellows in here.
Damn.
I got to get one of those.
Ironic.
Isn't that funny? Empty, but it does not collapse. The more it displaces, the more it produces.
It's the wave. It's in a constant flux of heaven and hell, or heaven and earth.
Aeon flux. I like it.
Its emptiness is its strength because it stokes when it's compressed.
Almost like the straw dogs.
I still don't really know what straw dogs mean. I'm not too sure on.
The only time I've heard the phrase straw dogs was from a movie.
Okay, what did it mean in the movie?
In this movie, it was about a man and a woman who move into a farmhouse on a lake, and they're living their best life and just doing whatever. And then they hire these guys to work on their roof, but then things start to go bad with these guys, and then the guys start being evil and mean and rude and disgusting towards the family. You know, like the guy's trying to intercede with this guy's wife and tries to sleep with his wife. And this guy's like, no, I'm not having it. And then it's like a big, it's a fight.
How did they use
between-
straw dogs?
It was just called Straw Dogs.
That was the name of the movie? God damn, I don't need the whole synopsis. Jeez, okay. Well, interesting. I wonder what that means. I'll have to watch the movie. I think I pretty much heard the movie now.
yeah.
I just think
I
of a
understand.
dog figurine made out of straw.
That's what I know. That's the only time
A
I've
dog
heard
made
the
out of
phrase
straw.
Straw Dogs.
I mean, that doesn't scintillate the imagination. Straw dogs. I mean, it makes me realize now that the reason they don't use straw dogs in other translations, maybe it's not modern, maybe you guys aren't deep enough, but the fact that they use these different translations, but I don't like that. I want it to be as pure to the Tao as I possibly could. This is like one of the most, chapter 5 here is one of the most direct translations I've ever done.
Mitch, I
Almost
got
as
it.
exact. Oh, my man.
I got it.
Pose.
So, heaven and earth are not humane.
Yes.
The 10,000 things they're talking about. It's an ancient text. They didn't have that many numbers. 10,000 things. They're talking about the whole world. The
Yes.
10,000 things in the world.
That's
Straw
right.
dogs. I'm thinking toy dogs they made in China. They're fake.
Deep.
They're fake dogs made of dried grass. The whole world is fake. The holy man is not humane, and his village is fake that follows him.
Oh my God.
And we have to inflate ourselves as the bellows and not expect to fill ourselves with anything. And as we inflate, we get stronger.
Poach, where did this depth come from?
I was listening to all the wrong answers.
All these stupid fucking answers. God. Wow. You went through every point on the Dao.
Thank you.
He hit the whole thing. How'd you even memorize this? All they do is be asking me to repeat lines.
I do have it in front of me here.
Oh, okay, good. Nice.
I still don't understand.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's the point, right? Maybe that's
Told you last
point
week the
of it all.
Dao is hard, man.
The Dao is tough, I will say.
So everyone's a phony, is what you're saying, and they're trying to be something that they're not.
My point, I think, is the only person you have to fill is yourself. Forget about the world and the holy man in his village.
Did you plan this with Live Your Truth, Mitch?
Of course you did. Do you want
Simple.
to know what ChatGPT thinks definition of Chapter 5 of the Dao de Jing?
Sure. Let's hear what the fucking robot says.
Okay. Focuses on the concept of nature and simplicity. It emphasizes the natural way, that the natural way is simple and uncomplicated, and that by following the Tao, one can achieve harmony and balance in life. The chapter advises practicing moderation and contentment.
I think I said it better.
No, you did, 100%. As excessive desires can lead to discontent and imbalance.
This is when robots try to be deep.
It also
Fuck you,
discusses how the
robot.
sage embraces humility. and doesn't
Honestly,
seek to
that could be
That's
cut
the only
and
good part, I
paste
think
for
it's got.
every chapter of the Tao ever.
Yes.
It focuses
That's what it feels
on
like it's-
simplicity and following the Tao.
That's what it feels like the first half of this is, and then it goes into the only part I think that is correct. The only part I guess I understand is it also discusses how the sage embraces humility and doesn't seek to show off or draw attention to themselves. And that's the only part we were able to figure out. And then
So that is cool. I mean, that's like the
Poe's
last
just-
line. Dunking on us. Here we go. And the last line is pretty cool too. I really vibe with in particular. It has a good modern translation. Many words regarded as destitute, poor, weak. It's like you don't need a lot of words to say what you want to say. Evan talked about body language before. We talked about animals having a simplicity to them that they only say the three things, even though they have an AI language now. And then even to finishing sentiment, just observe the core. Maybe go inward. And it's interesting to note, too, that the word empty, the only one translation that it could change up is empty could be replaced as almost like feel wronged. It's a strange one, and I almost shudder to bring it up, but where are we here? Empty, but it does not collapse. You could also say maybe feel wronged, but you do not collapse. That almost brings it to a more worldly example. Like maybe you have been done wrong, but you don't fold. You don't give up. But everything else is almost like a direct translation. Very interesting.
I've never heard the human experience being compared to a bellow before.
Oh,
That's very interesting because, feeling empty, I guess I was taking it literally as like empty inside.
Sure, yeah,
Kind of
taking in
depressed.
the emptiness, or maybe the emptiness is that which you take in, but there's space in it, right? They say the empty cup is potential.
Yep. I thought of an accordion, Mitch.
Nice. Okay, let's use a little more modern word
Weird Al
anyway.
over here.
Accordion.
Yeah.
The accordion, the air, the vacant space,
Yeah.
the vacuum causes the beautiful music.
That's your V.
Oh my God.
That's the V in your IR.
Wow, that's the V in your IR, baby. Damn, Poach. I mean, Marco had the first half of the show. You might be killing this Dow section, man. I don't know. You guys are both pretty crisp. But everyone feels like they had enough of depth right now. But I think Evan here wants to host a little segment in Briefly Political.
God save the Queen, man.
God save the Queen, man.
I forgot about
Fucking
Joe.
nice.
I'm trying a new thing this episode. I don't know much about these topics, so what I'm going to do is just toss it to Evan. He's going to inform us.
So I won't say it in too many words, but
Boom.
basically that picture says
Might
it
you
all.
say laconic?
Man, I'm already forgetting past
Deep.
vocab words.
It's very important. You got to remember.
Yep. So the Las Vegas shooting, you remember from a few years back.
Right, big
Many
one.
dead, shooting up from a building, Tons of people dead. The incident, like supervisor or like main guy and head of all the first responders, that guy at the Las Vegas shooting was also the police chief in Maui during the fire crisis that's been going on lately. And if that was enough, because people have been talking about that for the past few weeks, he is also the coroner in Maui.
The dead body guy.
So he's the head of police.
So
and
you can't
he's
catch a break.
And he's the guy.
This poor guy can't catch a break. He's followed by tragedy.
That's not necessarily where I was going.
It's a scary movie about that.
Sorry, Evan. Go ahead.
Poor guy. That's the end. No.
You guys seen The Happening? Yeah. Sorry, Evan, go for it.
No, that's fine. That was a pretty funny joke though, because you could. Yeah. Oh,
This
poor guy. All that
can't
responsibility.
catch a break. Wait, he was police chief in Vegas, Maui, and coroner in Maui?
Wasn't the police chief in Vegas? He was just like the incident
supervisor, coordinating
some
officer.
public service responder that's
He was, like, first on
overseeing
scene.
it all. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Interesting. Dude,
but he's the police
weird.
chief and coroner, so he's in charge of the crime and he's in charge of pronouncing who's dead.
Yeah, dude. This world is endlessly suspicious, man. What the hell is the deal with that?
Las Vegas and Hawaii aren't necessarily that close together for it to be, just the next town over.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, I'd feel so bad for the guy if he like was so depressed from the Las Vegas thing. He's like, I want to get out of town.
I'm gonna move to Hawaii.
I want to go where nothing bad ever happens.
It's not a
Poach's
conspiracy.
point.
It's just really bad luck.
Poach's point, poor guy.
You never know.
He
Poor
can't
guy.
catch a damn break.
It
Disaster
could be.
follows him wherever he
But
goes.
this world is endlessly suspicious. The more you dig, the deeper it goes. I don't
Yep.
know. That's fucking
He
weird,
went
man.
from the complex life of Las Vegas to
Yeah.
the simple life of Hawaii.
Maybe that's what it was. Sin City. He had enough when all those people died.
You gotta
It's
come
like,
back.
You gotta come back. We need you, the bat symbol.
I'm
of the
retired now. But that's all.
I'm
That's the
getting
only
too old
word
for this.
that I like to use too. Just a little suspicious.
sky. How are you the police chief and the coroner?
Yeah, how does that work?
That's
It's the Wild West.
that is insane. This guy gets so much
Sheriff, the
overtime
doctor.
pay.
Yeah, it just means there can't
Judge,
be much.
jury.
Yeah, there can't be much police or whatever you call a coroner. Coroner. There must not be one. And there's just like you.
Could be. I'll look at dead bodies if I could live in Hawaii. I don't know.
They
I mean,
seem
that
like-
does look pretty.
Then you
seem
have to
rough.
manage the crime scenes too.
Yeah, the forensic scientist. I don't know. There was a woman that wanted to get me into that when I was younger. Said it's good money, and then she would always say forensic. I don't know why she wanted me to look at dead bodies, but I mean it's kind of true because a lot of people are squeamish these days or whatever, or don't want to be around it.
Police see
It's
dead
rough.
bodies a lot.
Yeah, police.
Yeah.
That too. Exactly.
You watch Bones, Mitch?
Yeah, I was thinking of
CSI.
Dexter, like you know, because he was a killer, but he also like examined the bodies too.
Be a CSI guy.
That was super fun. Yeah, I'm not about it. The women love those
They
shows.
love
dude.
death and rape.
Oh my god, what's the damn?
Yeah, the only reason
They
I watched
do?
Dexter.
Yeah, for real.
Dexter was the shit, man.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show.
Dexter.
So you like Dexter? Yeah,
And
the
then
first
there-
couple seasons.
Not
whatever.
to go off
The
a
first
tangent
one.
again.
Yes, I'm
There was
with
a
you.
show where the guy who played Dexter worked as a coroner in a funeral
What?
home. Yeah,
Another
it's called,
show?
It's called 6 Feet Under.
Oh, shoot,
And
okay.
He worked as a mortician in a coroner.
You're really good as like a killer dead guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Come play
cast
this
you
killer
again.
dead guy.
Yeah. Typecasting, man, very specific, but
It's
it's
true. It's how it
real.
goes.
Do you know there's a sequel to Dexter
What?
with his
Yeah,
son
New
or
Blood.
something?
Oh, are you serious? Wow. His son also a psychopath or something?
Probably.
Yeah. But he taught the good ways of the force.
They just milk things that were already. They milk things that were already good and just make them worse.
Gotta murder the criminals.
Any sequels they try to do, they just
Oh, yeah,
think
every
in
time.
the past
That
instead of
serial
making
killer
something
that
new.
kills
To
Yeah.
keep it still a little briefly political.
Boom.
about it,
Okay,
if
bringing us
that's okay.
back. Nice.
Did you guys hear, or is this fake news? We are suing Elon Musk.
Oh, I did hear
We?
something about
The
that.
United
US government?
States
The Department of Justice
Why?
or
is
something.
suing Elon Musk because he is refusing to hire refugees and stuff like that.
I heard he talked to Putin, and then the Pentagon just found out, and then he just finally said yes.
Endlessly suspicious.
Like he was denying it for a while, and then the Pentagon found out, and he's like, "Okay, I did."
Man, okay, I did. Everybody talked to Putin.
Biden administration.
Not all else
Putin's
fails.
hosting that fight with him and Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh man,
That's another big one.
I hope that goes on.
I will pay to see that.
So, Marco, what is it?
Biden administration sues Elon Musk SpaceX for only hiring U.S. citizens and discouraging asylum seekers and refugees from applying for jobs, and alleges that he
I heard all
routinely
alleged.
discouraged asylees and refugees from applying and refused to hire or consider them because of their citizens.
There's your
citizenship.
Fake article. You have to be a
Status.
U.S. citizen to work in aerospace.
Yeah, in violation of the immigration.
true.
And then he's arguing that yes, this is a rocket. It's considered weapons, so you need at least a green card to work here. Which
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't, dude.
They'll always find an excuse. Yeah, facts.
All that money for a lawsuit that we're funding.
Wow.
But that's just suspicious too. Oh, he was happening to talk to Putin.
'cause he talked to Putin.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
'cause-
almost like obviously it's kind of sad. They'll always find a way. Endlessly suspicious. You look at one thing, they string you along one way. It's like, oh, but what about this? Oh no,
He is also.
don't look at that. He's
playing
a
through
racist.
through his Andrew Tate 3 Lives thing.
Oh yeah.
You get 3 lives in the Matrix.
Isn't Elon Musk the sole provider of internet in Ukraine right now
I think so.
because of the
Oh my
satellite?
god.
Yeah.
That's correct.
They don't
You
even
can
know
never
what he
do
said,
good
though.
enough in their eyes.
They don't even know what he said, though. It's just the act of, oh, you talked to him.
Yeah, they did that with everybody. They do that with like Trump or Pence or this guy.
know
Trump
what
was his BFF.
Yeah, man. It's
Well,
weird.
who's to say you can't just say hello to Putin on the streets of Moscow?
That's
and
what
just
I'm
like,
talking
you
Yeah.
talked to him.
It's kind of ridiculous.
You know, it's like,
To
what?
be honest, I've only seen his face once or twice. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Oh God, the country's over. Oh God, the world is over. America collapses. But that is beautiful that Elon provides internet to all of Ukraine. Is nothing good enough for you? Is nothing good. He's providing internet to your whole country. Like, he talked to Putin once. He's a fucking traitor. Oh my God, am I losing it, dog? Wow.
Not losing it.
You're never good enough, guys. Don't appease the mob because you'll never be good enough. They'll always find something to destroy about you. Have no fear. God is here, baby. Live your truth.
That's some ancient wisdom.
Live your truth.
And you know what? This is so good. I'm going to sign off.
Oh.
Return to ancient wisdom. Boom. But of course, before we end, I don't know. We got to give a special shout out to Poj and Marco for winning this week's episode of the day. You guys got a double. You guys are killing it, I got to say. Endlessly deep. So I'll give you a fat spin. You guys both get it. We'll see what happens.
Whoa.
Ooh!
What's that?
It means the next person to comment on this post in this live stream gets to choose a special background for Poj next episode.
Oh, I can't wait to see
Oh,
what you
yeah,
guys
we can't
get
wait
me.
to see what you do. Break the conditioning and return to ancient wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
What about my background?
You suck, Marco.
Fuck, Marco, your background is just ramen.